Early Morning, Chapter 25. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose, with artwork for the opening and thumbnail image by Cat Saturn Art on Instagram. You can find a link to Cat Saturn in the description box, as well as links to the prior 24 chapters. If you're still listening, comment Lady Noir Reunion. Please enjoy Chapter 25. Adrian Agreste as Cat Noir. Paris, France, 174 days ago. Cat, for the last time, I'm not going to host a water balloon fight to celebrate our superhero anniversary. Oh, come on, LB. It would be an epic way to celebrate. Cat Noir stood in the shadows of an alleyway, watching his partner roll her eyes at his past self as he chattered away over nothingness, as if he had all the time in the world left with her. He'd gone back to 3 days before Ladybug took down Shadow Moth. He knew from her letters and journal entries that she'd all but made up her mind at this point, and now he could ask her why. But even as his eyes lingered on the love of his life, Cat found himself staring at the 6 months younger Cat Noir. It was hard for him to remember his face as looking anything but gaunt, or his smile taking up that much of his face. He'd been so wholesome, happy, glowing. He'd been himself. This might have been the last time he'd been able to be himself with her, actually. Watching this version of himself made Cat want to curl up with his hands over his ears and scream. This was it. This was the cost of stopping Shadow Moth. That guy over there had a lover and a father, as well as a job that gave him purpose. Defeating his arch nemesis should have been a good thing, but all it did was spread grief like jam on toast to all corners of his life. Thick and sticky in a way that trapped him like a fly on his final meal. Cat Noir was happier when Shadow Moth terrorized Paris. A thought fluttered by like an akuma, and he squashed it. No, he wouldn't mess this up for her. Cat was here to ask Ladybug questions, not change the timeline, no matter how many times his intrusive thoughts would whisper to him. All he could do now was wait, innocent of the fact that the next time he'd see his partner would be the last time they'd see each other as partners. Silently, Cat stalked Ladybug back to the Dupang Chang bakery, perching himself on her bedroom chase as she greeted her parents in the kitchen below. It was a soft, everyday occurrence that he was privy to, an intimate scene that current him shouldn't be observing. But he was. And he'd have to break the serendipity as she made her way into the bedroom. Ladybug. Marinette jumped a foot, then spun on her heel to face him. Cat? Who, me? What, is it the pigtails or something? Because I'm not. Ladybug, I mean, she held up her arms in protest. I'm not Ladybug. I mean, sure, one time my classmates called me an everyday Ladybug, but... Ladybug. Cat repeated, folding his hands in front of his face as he held eye contact. Marinette narrowed her eyes before lowering her arms, face going slack. You're not my Cat Noir, are you? He nodded, unsure of what he could or couldn't say when it came to time travel and breaking the possibilities that follow. About 5.5 months from now, yeah. So that means I failed. Marinette walked over and sat on the couch next to him, her confession a whisper. Cat wrapped his arm around her shoulder, unable to help himself. No, he responded, his tone matching hers. No, you succeeded. But you know who I am. I do. And you're here, where you don't belong. I am. So, what's this about? Where's my letter, Marinette? He stole a glance as she cupped her forehead into her hands. That's what you're here for? Everyone got one but me. Where is it? Cat, I'm not asking you to change anything. I just want to know where my letter is. She rubbed her face, then leaned back into the chase. There isn't one, she confessed. If he hadn't become so emotionally numb over the past few months, Cat Noir might have reacted to her statement. Oh, not because I don't love you. I know you love me, Ladybug. She just didn't know she dated him. But it kind of sucks that you gave your boyfriend a letter and not me. I know, she sighed. I just... Marinette shook her head as she studied the ceiling for answers. How are you supposed to say goodbye to your partner? Yeah, that. He had a binder full of questions to ask, and not one of them came to mind. I miss you. Do I die? You... Dare he say it? You lose your memories. Yeah. She sighed through her nose. That's what I figured would happen. Why didn't you do a better job setting things up for her? Cat asked. Her? Marinette. Marinette stared back at him, blinking until she understood. Oh, she's suffering, Marinette. She saved Paris. She'll get through it. Easy for you to say. Why are you here, Cat Noir? Be honest this time. Because I miss you. He swallowed, but it wasn't enough to keep his words from tumbling out. I miss my girlfriend. She froze, her face tensing like she'd stepped too far out onto ice and wasn't sure if she trusted the depths below her. Your girlfriend? She tried. My girlfriend, Cat repeated. Defeating Shadowmoth costs you your girlfriend? Marinette whispered, her voice uneven. He knew better, but he answered her anyway. Defeating Shadowmoth costs me you. And there it was. Cat Noir could see it come together in his partner's eyes, and he almost regretted saying the truth aloud. Silence filled Marinette's parted lips, and it was as if it were the only thing she could reply with. Oh, Cat, she murmured. Oh, Cat, I'm so sorry. He didn't ask her what for. Instead, he tucked his head between her jawline and shoulder, and she returned to the gesture with an embrace. Please don't do it, Cat rasped, his begging words muffling into her neck. I'll leave a letter for you in my yearbook. He drew a breath as he stepped back, hands still lingering on her back. The year we met. The year we met. She'd made up her mind. His partner made up her mind about what she'd do, and there wasn't any way he could change it for her. Defeated, Cat Noir nodded, taking her in one last time. Goodbye, Ladybug. I'll see you in the future, kitty. Cat returned to his time, the information he'd gotten sitting empty in his stomach. He couldn't cook anything out of her, and knowing that she went ahead with everything anyway left a bitter taste in his mouth. Pulling out the letter he'd grabbed from Marinette's yearbook on his way back, Cat Noir sat on his bed, detransformed, and began to read. I don't know how to say goodbye to you, Cat. That's the thing with partners. You can't imagine yourself without yours. I still can't imagine myself without you. It's like my brain can't comprehend it. Like a theoretical theory the human brain understands but cannot comprehend. Not that I have any room to complain. You're the one who lost your partner, not me. I won't remember this loss, even though I feel it scratching in my chest at the impending fate of us. But this is a timeline where I know Shadow Moth is defeated, despite the cost, so I can't give up on it. I can't give up on this plan, Cat. So while I feel silly reading what I wrote in my letter to you as Adrian, I have to send it to you. I have to. I've seen too many ways where Shadow Moth wins. I've seen you killed and Paris broken past repair. I'm the cost this time. I'll be the martyr. So I'll say it to you again, Cat. This time as my partner. I'm sorry, Cat Noir. Please don't forgive me. This was it. This was his lowest point. At the end of it all, Adrian was alone, and nothing had changed.